All right, let's dive in. This time, we're tackling coding platforms.
Oh, cool.
I know you've been thinking about maybe switching careers or just upping your tech skills,
Yeah.
which is awesome, especially now. I mean, every company is basically a tech company, right?
It really feels that way. And programmers are in such high demand, but
I know, right?
but where do you even begin?
So many options.
Yeah, it's a bit overwhelming.
It is. It's like, staring at a wall of cereal at the grocery store.
Too many choices.
Exactly. Too many choices. But you mentioned you're kind of aiming for like those top tier tech companies, the ones everyone calls MA companies.
Yeah.
Meta, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google.
Right.
They have that reputation for their tough coding interviews.
Yeah.
So that's where these platforms come in, I guess. You're on this quest to become a coder.
Right.
These platforms are your tools. And we got to figure out which one is like,
Like your Excalibur, your magic wand,
exactly.
or your Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, I love that. Because each platform, it's like it has its own strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly.
Right. And finding that fit for how you learn is...
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, it's everything. Okay, so let's unpack some of these tools.
Okay.
We've got LeetCode. Now, full disclosure, when I first tried LeetCode, I felt like someone just threw me into the coding gladiator arena.
Oh, wow.
It was intense, but it definitely pushed me.
I bet.
But it's known as the interview prep powerhouse. And for good reason, because
For good reason. Yeah.
it's not for beginners.
No, it's not. It assumes you already have a pretty solid grasp of coding.
Yeah.
They throw you straight into the deep end with this massive library.
Yeah.
Over 2,000 coding challenges.
Oh, my God.
And they're laser focused on algorithmic problem solving.
Which?
That's the stuff that those MA companies, they love that.
Yeah, they really do.
They eat that up.
Yeah. Forget Hello World. It's like, build a self-driving car algorithm on day one.
Right.
Yeah.
But that intensity, it can be a really good thing. I mean, LeetCode has this ranking system that can feel brutal.
It can.
Yeah, think of it like leveling up in a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
pushes you to become this more competitive coder.
Which is important.
Which is crucial.
Yeah, in that world.
Especially in the tech world.
Absolutely.
And to really cater to that MAANG ambition, they even offer company-specific problem sets if you go premium.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like having a cheat sheet for the coding interview dungeon.
Sneaky. But smart.
Yeah.
But here's the catch with LeetCode. It really assumes that you already have that foundation.
Yeah.
Like basic coding, syntax, how to even think in terms of algorithms.
Right.
You wouldn't show up for a marathon without knowing how to run, right?
Yeah, exactly. So.
Okay, now on the other end of the spectrum, we have Codecademy. So if LeetCode is that intense training montage, Codecademy is like the welcoming yoga studio of coding platforms.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
It's all about, easing you in, building your confidence, and honestly, making sure you enjoy learning.
Right.
So if you're feeling intimidated at all by coding, Codecademy is a great place to get those early wins.
I agree.
They have a super user-friendly interface.
Yeah.
You code right there in the browser.
Yeah.
You get instant feedback.
Instant feedback, they walk you through everything.
They do. It's like learning to cook. You master those basic recipes before you even think about those MasterChef competitions.
Totally. Well,
yeah.
Totally.
And they offer such a variety.
Yeah.
Courses from popular languages like Python and JavaScript, all the way to web dev, data science.
It's pretty broad.
It is.
Yeah, it appeals to a lot of people.
It does. And you mentioned you're interested in web dev. So, with Codecademy, you could actually build a simple website in a few hours.
Oh, wow.
It's really about practical project-based learning.
Yeah.
You build stuff you can actually show off.
Which is great for motivation, too.
Totally. Especially when you're starting out, you see your progress, you get to be creative, and then you have something to actually add to your portfolio.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's always a but, right?
There is.
Codecademy does have its limitations.
Of course, yeah.
While it's fantastic for those foundational skills, it doesn't really get into that advanced algorithmic thinking.
So you might not be... You know what I mean? Yeah, you might not be ready for those, Emory-level interview questions quite yet.
Right, exactly.
You've mastered those basic recipes, but you're not ready for, the pressure cooker of a timed cooking competition.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah. Okay, so the third platform on our list, AlgoCademy, is trying to be a bit of a hybrid.
Okay.
It's like the intense boot camp, but also the welcoming studio.
So the best of both worlds.
Yeah, they're aiming to be both beginner-friendly and M-ready.
Interesting. I get why you call it the complete package.
Right.
But is that even realistic? Can one platform be all things to all coders?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
They seem pretty ambitious.
They do.
They say they take you from hello world all the way to like crushing those tech interviews.
Oh, wow.
And they have this really comprehensive curriculum. It goes from the basics all the way to like advanced algorithms.
Okay.
And what sets them apart is their focus on making the learning process smooth. And really personalized.
Personalized. How so?
So they break down those complex concepts into like bite-sized pieces so you don't feel overwhelmed.
I see.
And they have this really cool AI-powered help feature.
Ooh, now that's interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So we talked about the coding gladiator arena and Codecademy, our friendly coding yoga studio.
Right.
Now let's get into AlgoCademy and their secret weapon, the AI tutor.
Ah, yes. This is where things get really interesting, especially for someone like you who really values that personalized learning experience.
Yeah.
Imagine you're working on a sorting algorithm.
Right.
And you hit a snag, which, let's be honest, happens to all of us.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Instead of like just getting that generic error message, you click explain mistake.
Okay.
And AlgoCademy's AI, it actually analyzes your code.
Oh, wow.
Pinpoints the issue, and then explains in plain English what went wrong and why.
That's so much more helpful than just like staring at a red error message, feeling totally lost and frustrated.
Right. It's like having a coding buddy looking over your shoulder saying, hey, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Let's try it this way instead.
I love that. And what about that Ask AI Tutor feature? How does that work?
Okay, so let's say you're grappling with a concept like recursion, which would be, pretty tricky for new coders.
Yeah.
You can literally type your question into that Ask AI Tutor box. And the AI will give you this like tailored explanation. It's like having a personal tutor who can adjust their teaching style to how you learn best.
Wow, it's like having your own personal coding sensei, like guiding you through all the tough stuff.
Exactly.
Helping you unlock your potential. But hold on, is this all just like a fancy way of saying it's like those automated feedback systems you get on other platforms?
That's a good question. While platforms like LeetCode and Codecademy do offer some basic automated feedback, it's usually pretty limited. You might know that your code's wrong, but you're left wondering why AlgoCademy takes it a step further, providing that deeper level of personalized support.
So it's not just about checking if you got the right answer, but about guiding you towards a deeper understanding of how it all works.
Precisely. And that's what makes AlgoCademy so intriguing. They're not just teaching you to code, they're teaching you to think like a coder.
That's cool. So AlgoCademy's AI tutor sounds pretty impressive, but how does this all translate into real-world success? Especially when it comes to those nail-biting technical interviews.
Okay, so here's the thing. Those MA companies, they're not just looking for someone who can, like, memorize code.
Yeah.
They want someone who can think critically.
Right.
Solve problems on the fly, and then explain their thought process clearly.
Yeah.
And that's where AlgoCademy's approach can really shine.
So it's not just about getting the right answer, but being able to break down complex problems, communicate your approach, and maybe even come up with like creative solutions that no one else has thought of before.
Precisely. And AlgoCademy's AI features, by forcing you to explain your mistakes and ask those really specific questions, they can help you develop those critical thinking and communication skills. It's like they're giving you a crash course in how to ace those technical interviews.
I can see how that would be super valuable.
Yeah.
But, I'm also thinking about the practical side of things, like building actual projects, getting your hands dirty with those real-world coding scenarios.
Of course.
Is that important too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's where a platform like Codecademy can still be a fantastic resource.
Yeah.
Building a portfolio of projects showcases your skills and shows that you can actually apply what you've learned.
So it's not necessarily an either situation. Maybe you can combine the strength of different platforms.
Exactly.
Like use AlgoCademy to build that rock-solid foundation and practice your problem-solving skills, and then head over to Codecademy to create some cool projects that actually showcase your abilities.
That's a really smart strategy. It's all about playing to your strengths and finding what works best for you.
Yeah.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach to learning how to code.
Right. Okay, so we've explored these three popular platforms, and we've seen how each one offers a unique approach to learning.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, there's one crucial element we need to discuss. No matter which platform you choose,
Yep.
the importance of building a strong foundation in coding fundamentals.
Couldn't agree more. It's like building a house. You need that strong foundation to support everything else. And that foundation in coding is all about understanding the core concepts of computer science.
So it's not just about learning like a specific programming language or a framework. It's
Yeah.
about understanding the underlying principles that make everything work.
Exactly. Think of it like learning the alphabet before you start writing a novel,
Yeah.
or understanding music theory before composing a symphony.
Okay, I'm getting it. But for someone just starting out, what are the key things to focus on when building this coding foundation?
Well, first and foremost, you need to grasp those basic building blocks of programming. Variables,
Okay.
data types, operators, control flow, and functions.
Hmm.
These are the fundamental concepts that underlie every programming language and every piece of software ever written.
So it's like learning the grammar and vocabulary of coding
Exactly.
before you start writing your epic code poem.
Yeah, exactly. Once you have a solid grasp of those basics, then you can start exploring data structures and algorithms. These are the tools that allow you to solve complex problems efficiently and write code that is both elegant and performant.
It's where the real magic happens.
That's where the magic happens.
So we've got the basics, the building blocks, and then these powerful tools of data structures and algorithms.
Mhm.
What else is crucial for building that unshakable coding foundation?
Don't forget about software engineering principles like modularity, reusability, and testability.
Okay.
These principles are all about writing clean,
Yeah.
maintainable, and scalable code, the kind that won't make your fellow developers want to pull their hair out.
Right. So it's not just about making the code work. It's about making it work well,
Right.
making it easy to understand, and making it adaptable for future changes.
Exactly.
It's like building a house that's not only beautiful, but also structurally sound and easy to maintain.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And while all three platforms we've discussed touch on these fundamentals to varying degrees, it's important to supplement your learning with external resources.
So don't limit yourself to just one platform or one way of learning.
Exactly. Explore textbooks,
Yeah.
dive into online tutorials, tinker with open source projects. The more you expose yourself to different approaches and perspectives, the stronger your foundation will become.
This is where the deep dive really comes in, right? Going beyond the surface and exploring all the different facets of this coding world.
Exactly. And here's a pro tip for you.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
The coding community is incredibly welcoming and supportive.
It's like a giant coding family, all eager to share their knowledge and help each other succeed.
Precisely. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, remember, building a strong foundation in coding fundamentals is crucial, regardless of which platform you choose or what your ultimate coding goals are.
It's the key to unlocking your full potential as a coder and to embarking on a fulfilling and rewarding coding journey. Okay, welcome back. Final part of our coding platform deep dive.
Yep.
We've explored those unique personalities, LeetCode, Codecademy, AlgoCademy, uncovered the magic of those AI tutors,
Yeah,
and really hammered home that importance of a strong coding foundation.
definitely.
Now we gotta, equip you with some actionable strategies
Exactly.
to make all this knowledge work for you.
Yeah, let's get practical.
Yeah, exactly. We're going beyond just talking about platforms and getting into like how to actually learn and grow.
Okay,
As a coder, think of it like your personalized training manual.
I love that. Okay, so you're ready to build that unshakable coding foundation. Where do you even begin?
Well, it can be overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
There's just so much information out there.
Right.
But it's like anything new, you break it down into manageable steps.
Mm-hmm.
And a great starting point is a solid like introductory course or textbook.
Absolutely. And luckily, there's a ton of fantastic free stuff online. Have you heard of Khan Academy's computer programming course or Harvard's CS50?
I've heard amazing things about both, especially CS50. It has this reputation for being like challenging,
Oh, yeah.
but incredibly rewarding.
It's like a boot camp of intro courses,
Yeah.
but in a good way. They really push you to think like a programmer from the get-go.
Right. So those courses, they give you that broad overview of computer science concepts,
Mm-hmm.
introduce you to the basic syntax of a programming language.
It's like learning the alphabet of coding.
Yeah. Makes sense. But once you have those fundamentals down, how do you go deeper? Like you mentioned data structures and algorithms.
Oh, yeah.
Those sound kind of intimidating.
They can be.
Yeah.
But they're incredibly fascinating. Think of them as the tools that separate a good coder from a great one.
Okay.
For a deep dive into that world, I highly recommend books like Introduction to Algorithms. It's a classic. Or something a bit more approachable like Grokking Algorithms.
I've heard great things about grokking algorithms. People say it explains like those complex concepts in a really intuitive way.
It does. It's known for being very beginner friendly. It uses like visual explanations, relatable examples to break down how algorithms work, how to analyze their efficiency, and how to implement them in code.
So it's not just about memorizing formulas, it's about understanding the logic behind them.
Exactly. Now, we've been focusing a lot on the technical side, but you also mentioned being interested in building things for the web, right?
Right.
For that, you'll need to dive into software engineering principles. It's about taking your code from it works to it works beautifully and doesn't make other developers cry.
That's a great way to put it. Any recommendations for that side of things?
Oh, absolutely. Clean Code by Robert C. Martin is a must-read. It's like the style guide for writing elegant, maintainable code.
Okay.
And for a more holistic view of the software development process, the Pragmatic Programmer is fantastic. It's packed with practical wisdom from seasoned developers.
Okay. So we've got books, online courses. It's like this whole buffet of coding knowledge.
It is, but I'm also a big believer in learning by doing.
Oh, me too.
Theory is great, but nothing beats getting your hands dirty and actually writing code.
Totally.
And remember those platforms we talked about.
Yeah.
This is where they come in handy for putting your knowledge into practice.
Right. Each one offers a different flavor of practice, right? LeetCode kind of throws you into the deep end with those challenging algorithmic problems, perfect for those tough technical interviews.
Exactly.
And Codecademy lets you build those real-world projects, which is awesome for solidifying your understanding and creating a portfolio to show off your skills.
Exactly.
So you can choose the platform that aligns with your current, learning goals and preferences. But, it's also perfectly fine to mix and match.
Absolutely. Use LeetCode to sharpen your problem-solving skills, Codecademy to build cool projects, and maybe even sprinkle in some AlgoCademy for that personalized guidance along the way.
Yeah, I love that approach. It's like creating your own custom coding curriculum. But here's something I've learned on my own coding journey. Don't get so caught up in the platforms and resources that you forget the most important thing. Consistent practice.
So true. Consistency is key. It's like learning a musical instrument. You don't become a virtuoso overnight.
Right.
You need to put in the time, the effort, and most importantly, the love for the craft.
And remember, it's okay to struggle. In fact, I'd say struggling is an essential part of the learning process.
Yeah.
It's those aha moments after hours of debugging that really solidify your understanding.
Those are the moments that turn you from a code follower into a true code creator.
Exactly. And speaking of support, remember, you're not alone on this journey.
Yeah.
The coding community is so incredibly welcoming and supportive.
It is.
Don't be afraid to reach out, ask questions, connect with other coders.
Yeah.
Join online forums, attend meetups, contribute to open source projects. The more you engage with the community, the more you'll learn and grow.
It's like having a whole team of coding cheerleaders, mentors, collaborators, all rooting for you to succeed.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive, remember these key takeaways.
Okay.
Building a strong foundation is essential. Finding the right learning resources for your style is crucial.
Absolutely.
Consistent practice is key.
Definitely.
And most importantly, embrace the journey.
Yeah.
And have fun with it.
So important.
Because coding it's more than just a skill. It's a way of thinking.
It is.
A way of solving problems. And a way of creating amazing things.
It's a superpower waiting to be unlocked.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the one building the next game-changing app, designing the future of the web, or even like cracking the code to some of humanity's biggest challenges.
The possibilities are endless.
So go out there, embrace the world of coding, and keep diving deep.
Happy coding.